Yo, what's up, Vince? Trying to gauge my eyeball size. Dude, these things are freaking sexy. Casey, what's up, dude? South Jersey. Tyler, Daniel. What time is it? 2 o'clock. All right. I'm still good on time. I'm still good on time. Uh, the rat brains are done. Brendan. It's 3. No, we're in regular time. We're in regular time. Uh, I'll wait. I'll wait a minute. See if anybody else rolls in. Oh, we're up to 11. Bob. Ooh, you're casting. Even more fun. I have a bait color reveal. I'm pretty excited about. These came together very nicely. So I'm excited. I'm excited to show these off. 13 is pretty good. All right, so this was kind of the same color that if y'all remember, I stripped down a RC 1.5 that I painted very early on that had a big fat DevCon epoxy coat on it, and some nice Createx smothered over the backs and sides. So I started painting, and I was just kind of dicking around with colors, and I painted the shoulders chartreuse and put some scales on them. I was like, all right, I can work with that. And then I started looking at it, and I was like, dude, I could do that damn color I took I stripped from the old days and make it a little newer. So I don't know if it'll show up. Probably not. I'll have to dark this damn place out. No, that didn't make it any better. Oh well, you'll have to see the pictures. This you can't see jack. There you can kind of see. You can kind of see. Not much, but it's bright. And this little guy, I don't know what I was trying to do. This one doesn't show up much either. But I guess y'all will see him in pictures. But these are badass. They're a lot more vibrant in person, but these are they look kind of dull on the camera here. But it's got a like a purplish blue iridescent head, kind of a gray green back, white, kind of a sunrisey shoulder. I didn't do scales on this one. Didn't need it. I tried it on one. So if you get a bait, actually there's two. There's two of that color that have scales. You won't be able to see it. But these have scales on the side. And I did the scales on these, and I was like, I don't like that. I think it takes away from the overall appeal of the bait. So I left them off. It's actually you can't see it, but it's like fluorescent red. It's bright. I was gonna do. I was gonna double dot it like a sunfish and have that little red peeking out, or the orange, whatever. I was gonna have that peeking out, and then just do another black dot on top of it, and just leave half of it hanging out. And the more I looked at it, I was like, I think I'm just going to leave it orange or red, whatever. I think it. I think the black would take away from it. So I'm gonna. I decided to just let it let it roll as is. It looks good, dude. It looks good. It's just like that. It's just like a little red kicker blade, but a dot. So, Nasty Nate, you'll enjoy these. But that one's a very strange combination of colors. Um, it's not. I mean, it's odd, uh, but they go together well, and I think those are my favorite ones to do. Is when you mix a bunch of colors that really shouldn't go together, but somehow they cohesively bond and come together. It's weird, but it works. But it works. So the rat brain will be alive. The rat brain is alive. Once I put dots on it, it'll be it'll be juicing. I hope I can get them clear coated this afternoon. Let's see if this light tray works. Yes. Okay. They will for sure catch them. That's the other thing I try to do, Brendan. I don't want to get too wild, but I do. Uh, but I just want to stay in the realm of catchy. You know what I mean? Um, I don't want to do stuff because once you start, I feel like once you add and because I could have kept adding little like accent colors to these, and then at some point I have to stop myself and be like, listen, just 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 make it fishy. You can't see this one, Nasty Nate. Too much light. It's too bright. It's a chartreuse sides with a brass top and then a little green accent on the head to shadow the eyes and little underbelly color and some bars on the side that have a blue green iridescence to them. This is probably, I don't know which one's the nastiest. They're both pretty equal in nasty. Um, Brendan, correct. You do not shake the paint. That is rule number one. You do not shake your paint, otherwise you get air bubbles everywhere. So you have to make it. You have to have your paint in the right consistency, so you don't have to shake it up. Correct. Correct. I'm glad you found out the hard way. That's the best way. I had this one handkerchief and I used to wipe my daughter off with it and it always had like paint all over it. I pulled it out. Uh, Under this? Nope. Huh. Where art thou? There it is. Behind my computer. Um, it is all a part of the learning. The only way to get good at dotting I's is dot a million of them. But I think a lot of people rush through the I dotting part, which I think is a big mistake. because you go to the trouble of getting to that stage. And oh no, oh, I just spilled paint everywhere. Damn it. Hold on, we gotta clean up a mess. Big mess. Big mess. Big bear. Big bear, chase me. What rag am I going to ruin today? This one. Yellow paint everywhere. Yummy. Wow, that's a big mess. Now we got a big yellow stain. Looks nice. Looks nice. Put that over there and hopefully not touch something with it. All right, let's try this again and not make a mess. Yeah, it is. It is very much. I try. That's the thing is like I try to like be orderly at times, and it's really hard. It's not hard. It's just I do know where everything is, but at my core, I want to be organized, and I am for like a day, and then I destroy it all. That's about as long as shit lasts around here. Because I'll look around and I'm like, man, this is nasty. I gotta clean all this shit up. I gotta get organized. And I'll go through and I'll organize everything and get it cleaned up. And then I'll start working, and everything is back to its usual disaster. Because I always run out of time. Like I'm like, once I start doing something, then I get like, I'll look at the clock and be like, oh shit, it's 4 o'clock. I'll start like throwing shit around and going nuts, and it gets. Morgan, correct. I did two colors. I didn't want to do 3 because I didn't want to sell a 3-pack. I wanted to do 2, mainly because I didn't know how the bait was going to paint, because it's an odd body shape, so I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. So I needed to kind of test the waters. The rat brain will be a 2-pack, correct? Hello. It will be 1 of each color. Rat brain 1, rat brain 2. Brendan, I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but when you're dotting I's, always start from the opposite side your hand that is dotting is. I dot with my left hand, so I always start on the right side. I always start away from me over here. First dot, and then the second one is on your dominant side. Morgan, it is perfect for a gill. Unfortunately, you can't see all its gilliness, but it is very gilly. And I went with the regular dot instead of like a more standardized gill shape, just because I think it looks good on wood baits. And I use the bluegill kind of marking from time to time, but a lot of times I like it's just whatever I'm in the damn mood for, really. It's really whatever I'm feeling. But another thing, Brendan, clean your dotting mechanism off every couple baits, because you'll eventually get a buildup on there, and your eyes will start getting uh, gradually bigger and bigger, and you'll lose a little bit of your consistency with their sides. So, just another tip for eye dotting. So the funny thing about eyes is, I really think, like when you look at a wood bait, eyes of all things, like in the paint job of a wood bait, are typically what separate the men from the boys. Because you see a like there is a shit ton of wood baits out there that are beautiful, but they got shitty eyes, dude. Like, it's, to me, it's a package deal. Like, the eyes need to be good to match. Like, there's nothing worse than seeing like somebody that can paint pretty decent, and then it gets to the eyes and they paint shitty eyes. It throws the whole damn bait off. Uh-oh, it was touched. Can't have that. This paint's been wanting to do that. I don't know why. Try again though. I think it's a little. There we go. Perfecto. Um, Eyes make the bait. I would agree. And I used to. It was so. I was so dumb back in the day. I used to think that for some reason, 3D eyes stuck on a wood bait would look cool, because it was like during all the, like when Lucky Craft was coming out, and like you could get those big, like you could finally get like good looking eyes. You could get those like big pupil eyes. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna put these on. I'm gonna put these on all my like wood bait repaints, and it's gonna be the shit. No, dude, it look stupid as hell. But luckily, I grew up and realized that there's only one eye appropriate for a balsa wood lure, and that is to take paint and dot it on. You know what's funny is Bagley said they dotted their eyes the way they did to match the natural characteristics of a shad, and that shad's eyes were down looking, so that's why they put the pupils down at the bottom to match a natural shad. So they were about 30 years ahead of Megabass in the downward looking eye category. Shout out to Bagley. Morgan winning that big money. We have we got a Grand Lake. We got a Grand Lake hammer in our presence, beating up on the locals. Those are decent. Watch somebody get some wonky eye, and then when I was going to send me a damn dirty email and be like, "These eyes are spaced too far apart, you dipshit. These look like ass. You're talking about how eyes are supposed to look good. These are like shit." Who is calling me? Cedar Hill, Texas. I don't know you. Brendan, you're correct. Anatomically, a shad's eyes are not on the front of their head. But I guess Bagley dotted the eyes on the appropriate spot and thought, this looks dumb. So let's change it. Somebody had sense enough. And there are companies. There was a dude, I think Norman used to do some wood baits back in the day, and there was a guy named Perry. I don't know him, but I had some Perry's baits, and his were always like on the side of the bait. They just look terrible. They just looked terrible. Where do real shad carries their hooks? Good question. In their little purses. Voicemail. Let me guess. You wanna relieve my student debt? It's funny you say that, Casey. You know, you got guys that'll go to the end of the earth to have something natural. And there's one giant flaw with that. Your bait has giant shit hanging off its belly and its ass. Brennan, there are not many fish that have eyes on the top of their head. Flounder. Yeah, flounder. They're odd. It's the funny thing, Kyle, is I don't have any student debt, but they call me constantly and try to get me to consolidate it. Like, well, how do you consolidate nothing? All right. Damn, I got a lot of these to do. I think the red crest was interesting. Did anybody get excited about that? No, hell, I had a little viewing of the final day. I think the biggest takeaway from that thing was the glide bait throwers. I wasn't too interested in it. No, I didn't. A live mocking. I caught the first part of the. I watched it after the fact, hella, and I have to go back and finish and pay closer attention, especially if it was a mockery. I like getting the car warranty one and telling them I have a 93 with 200,000 plus miles on it, and then they just hang up. Yeah. Let me get your car warranty. Oh, you want to warranty my truck? Okay. Okay, I don't think you want to do that. I don't think you want to do that. The coal shed. Dude, hella, I thought about you when I saw the coal shed. And it literally, reading the name of that bait made me like, gave me like a second grade education. Like, I was like an idiot after reading it. Like, I turned into Cro-Magnon man and started taking rocks and like beating them together. Like, what kind of nincompoop? Like, it's so juvenile and like just dumb, dude. Hey, we've got a big bait in our lineup that'll cull fish out of your live wells. Coal shed, brilliant. No, it's not. The coal shed. Well, guys are gonna cull fish with it because it's a big swim bait. So, coal shed. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. That'll really that'll really improve our market share. The coal shed. Dude, people are gonna think that they're gonna cull their fish with it. That's what it's for. Idiots. Rather watch the heavy hitters than the red crest. I don't even know what that is, Kyle. I don't know the difference. Yeah, I am, Brendan. I am more triggered because the fact that it's a mag draft does not surprise me because it's the same with everything. Everybody's going to have their version, um, and the pathetic thing about it is they're all going to come out at the same time. Uh, that is no surprise. Uh, that is no surprise. But the name Cole shit. Like Mag Draft is a badass name. That's why it's like I think that's something that like in marketing that helps the popularity of the bait. Yeah, sure it catches fish, but it sounds cool. Like you want to tell people you caught them on a Mag Draft. Well, I caught them on a coal shed. You sound like an idiot. The eyes on the coal shed bother me to the core. Are they those like teardrop shaped eyes? Uh, I did see that. He had that big. He had that 20 pounds, 3 fish over at somewhere on the old coal shed. He was obviously doing some culling with the coal shed, hence the name. Hence the name. When you throw the coal shed, you get to cull all day. When you fish the mag draft, you just get to draft all day. You just get to draft other anglers. Morgan, I thought that was the magic. That's like that was the magic of the old Bass Pro Shops one, right? Because I, way back in the day, once I caught wind of Steve Kennedy's secret bait, I started digging around. I was like, hey, I've got 2 of these. What's the what's the magic with these things? So I tied one on, took it out, threw it, and reeled it back in, like you'd reel in like I don't know, kind of like a medium retrieve for like a spinnerbait, and the thing was like rolling around all over the place and flopping. I was like, this thing sucks. Then I made another cast and kind of and I like really slowed it down to make it not wonky. And I realized what the speed was. And I said, I don't think this is the bait for me. Like I don't know. Like it was literally like a crawl with a 7-1, and you just stand there and just like I like my body started tingling and I started getting like twitchy trying to fish that thing. Nail weight the mags. True, shouldn't have to though. It'll be interesting to see how these other baits do. That'll be really funny if um, if all these new ones have the same problem. Like if nobody fixed what everybody's issue was. Then it's going to be really pathetic. Y'all think anybody will y'all think anybody will get it right? Dude, these are my favorite yet. I'm in love with the rat brain. I can't wait to unmask them. Is the Guggen one going to be good, or the whatever? Not Guggen, Bass Mafia. Schoolmaster, what's up? Rat Brain crew. Guys, change treble. Is it in response to having to tune a mag draft? I think the difference lies in that trebles don't affect the way the bait performs. I mean, they do if you put giant ones on there, but like if you just wanted to change fours with fours, that's not going to make the bait swim like it should. But I don't know. That's what I was saying above the Mafia one. It had the head shake regardless of speed. The Mafia one you threw had the head shake. Interesting. Yeah, the 110, those out barbs. I don't know. Does a Vision 110 still come with out barbs? Barbarian out barbs? I'll come clean. Back in the day when the Barbarians came out, I thought they were like the most badass looking hook, and I was like, man, I really like they just look mean. They make your baits look mean. The Barbarian cut, and so I said these would be really cool if they didn't have these stupid out barbs. So I like looked them up. Sure as shit, they make Barbarians with regular inside barbs. Dude, I bought a damn pile of those things and started sticking them on my deep little ends and like everything I threw. And they were always like a size bigger. So I ordered like all these number 2s to put on, number 4s to put on my baits. And they all stuck, like they all tangled because they were like 2 sizes bigger than what they said they were. All right, Rat Brain, y'all are looking very delicious. I'm very happy with those. The last 110 didn't have barbs, period, and was missing a split ring on the nose. One of the rigging meisters must have went out and partied the night before. Jeremy, how long do you think that'll take? Anthony, people up at Scottsboro Tackle, if you could support them, they're great people. So I think anything towards Scottsboro would be nice. I know those people up there. Tim, nice guy. So yeah, I like to see them do their thing. 110s are finicky on the hooks though. So that's 5G finesse. The JDM color models in the 110 don't come with a split ring in the nose. That's interesting. Very interesting. I wonder how much money that saved them over the course of a year. $1,000? Maybe. I didn't think Spawn Killer was a JDM model. Dude, I could not tell you. I could probably name you. I can't even name you that damn that color that AJ's told me 15 times that I just painted 20 of. Northern Lights, Northern Eclipse, Northern something. I think it's Northern. I don't know what it is. But Northern Effect, that's it. Yeah, that's the only one I know. And there's that other one, Pro something. Northern Effect. Maybe I'll remember that one day. I bought two. One had it, one didn't. Interesting. GG Bass. Northern Reaction and Northern Secret. Like, I got lots of Northerns. That will confuse you. Maybe that's how I'll start naming my baits. Southern Rat Brain. Southern Possum Brain. Southern Effect. Southern Effect would be pretty funny. Made for Canada. How about that? Matte Shad. Yes, I have painted 1 million matte shads. That is a pretty color. The little line down the side is pretty difficult. Southern Rat Brains has a wide wobble. Northern has a tight little shimmy and sinks. Matte Shad does get bit. And I'm not telling you that from experience. I'm telling you that because like 10 Elite Series pros and Major League Fishing pros that I know, that I work with, all sing its praises. All of them like that damn thing. All of them. You probably go in any pro's boat, and they might not have a lot of damn Megabass shit, but they'll have a damn Matte Shad something. All right, I'll talk for a few more minutes. Then I got 3 more Chad Shads to go paint, and hopefully by the time I get done with those, or 1 or 2 of them, I can come back in here and finish dotting these I's, and it might be ready for the clear. I thought about taking the boat out tomorrow. I need to run it, and it's about to get bad weather on Friday. And the wind's supposed to be blowing out of the south tomorrow. And if it blows out of the south, it pushes more water into the weeds. Me likey. Great question, Brendan. Did anyone actually buy one of Cliff Pace's Hollywood glides? And it's pretty dadgum good, Brendan says. Refuges opened up. That sounds fun. If the weather stays the same, I'll be taking my boat out tomorrow. There you go, Daniel. I think it'll be a good. I think tomorrow's gonna be a good day because I'll have all these rat brains done, and I'll be able to earn a living. Caught a few fish on it. There you go. Yeah, Kyle's supposed to get nasty on Friday. Um, Brendan's going out Friday. Everybody's getting fired up, getting a little weather change, getting ready to roll out to the ponds. I just want to go flip Doug blinds, honestly. That's all I want to do. I just want to do it once this year while they're like up. And if I dick around anymore, it's going to be that bites. I'm really like 3 weeks too late, but what can you do? Got to go to Kansas City this weekend. After that, it's time to start getting ready for the next derb. Where's the next derb, Morgan? In your home state? Still damn winter up here. It was 40 down here this morning. I actually had to put on pants. Believe it or not, it has been 80. Pollen everywhere. So weird to believe that y'all like the people I'm talking to right now are sitting around and there's like snow on the ground and shit and like it's cold. And I walk outside in shorts and like no shirt and go play in the yard and it's green and there's pollen everywhere. Whole circuit is Oklahoma. You need to test and tune all the rat brains. I've often wondered that if people would be offended if I went out and tuned all their baits, and then they got a bait that like maybe had like a tooth, like a fish's mouth dragged down the back, and maybe had a couple little scratchies on it, because that's certainly possible. Or you could sell those. You could sell those for a premium. Wait, listen. I tested 50 of these damn things, and all in the same spot, and this one got bit. But burns baits typically. I don't know that I hardly ever have to tune them. You might, but I typically don't go and like pre-tune these because it's usually very slim odds that it needs a tune. It might, but already have fry garters. Yeah, I'm sure there's a million of them down here, Tyler. And it's starting to churn my stomach the more I think about it. Because here I sit, I'm like, damn, it's almost the middle of March. Like I'm gonna dick around and completely miss the spawn. I'm gonna but like I've completely missed pre-spawn. I guess it's done. I never got to go like throw a rattle trap or throw a chatterbait or do any kind of that shit in the cold water. But the weird thing about this year was that there wasn't. But it shouldn't come as a surprise. But it's so nice when you get those gradual cold, like when it gets like when it's January and it gets like, you know, which is titty cold and it stays cold. And then like it gradually warms up and eases the fish into like sliding up and doing their thing. This year and lots of years past, it goes from damn like the water might get into the 50s, like the mid 50s, low 50s, but it never even really gets cold at all. So then it goes from like cooler, colder weather that's not really that cold to like 80 for 3 weeks. And it just goes straight from like fish are already like they're not even pre-spawn. Like they never even get to that stage. They just move. They just transition from like a fall bite, just like straight into spawning. It's really, really, really weird. It's not weird. It's just annoying because they don't they don't move right. They just kind of, I think they just kind of linger and kind of wander around. Uh, they don't spawn at once, but the good ones are the first ones. They're the mad ones. Um, I think that's I think that like to me, Tyler, like I want the first ones. That's the fun ones to me because they're like I don't know. I feel like they're just like a little more pissed off. Like they'll be fish spawning from here till you know, damn May. But the first group that like starts it all off, those are the damn good ones. And you just have to look different places. I won't get into all that where you find them, but you can catch spawning fish everywhere. But I like those first ones that move like dick deep in like February. Those are the good ones. I caught one off a bed in August the 17th last year. Schoolmaster, what part of the world would that have been in? Northern Effect Country? Northern Lake Michigan. There you go. I've heard that the first group of fish to spawn are typically the biggest. I've never really seen that. Uh, Aaron, I'm in Alabama. Chris, maybe. Um, if you want, I'll give you a little spiel before I go paint some more. But if you want my humble opinion about the first wave of fish, typically fish that live on rivers. I'm not talking about reservoir fish. I'm talking about fish that live in and around rivers. Um, the first fish to spawn didn't migrate, didn't do anything. They didn't move. They were already there. They've been there in January. They were there in February. They were there in December. They were there in November. They were there for 12 months. They were already there. They never left. They never came back. It wasn't there wasn't a transition. But when you catch them, that first group of already shallow fish, they fire off before any of them. They never leave, and those fish do they do different shit than like a fish that is swimming around. They're fat, they're mad, and they're like a month ahead of everybody else. And there's another weird thing that happens early in the pre-spawn, and that is a very, very, very aggressive daylight bite. And I don't give a shit if it's 12 degrees outside. I don't know why. I don't know what happens, but you can get in this much water and swim a jig as fast as you want to, and you'll get blasted. And it can be 32 damn degrees in January or February, whatever. And it just when that happens, you realize I really don't know shit about what's going on here because this makes no sense. Like this should never happen. This like according to anything you've ever read, this is wrong. And that was what that was what threw me for loops for so long, for so many years, is like when I was fishing uh, as a kid growing up, I would fish from what I learned out of Bassmasters or watched on Bassmaster TV or whatever, and like listen to Bill Dance and all this shit. And they said, oh, pre-spawn fish, they set up on these like hard spots and secondary points and all this bullshit, and they like get ready to move up. Dude, I used to like go and crank my ass off in the pre-spawn, like trying to like catch fish like that, and I just couldn't. I couldn't make it happen, and I was like, what's the damn deal? So I just went to the bank and start like that was like what I knew how to do. It's like, all right, well, I'm not like I obviously can't make this work, so I'm just going to go to the bank and just fish how I want to, which is typically what happens if I can't get a bite. Like if I'm having a tough time like figuring something out, like I'm typically not going to resort to like something like a shaky head. Like if I have to do that, and I still like if I throw a shaky head and I still can't get bit, like quick or a wacky rig, to me it's like, well, I can't go any lower. I can't stoop any lower than this. So I might as well do something fun that I enjoy. So I'll go throw a buzzbait in the middle of the day, or I'll go throw a big spinnerbait, or I'll go swim a jig, or do like whatever that I enjoy doing. And by doing that, you find really odd bites. So that was kind of what happened to me early in the spring, was that I could never get I could never get on that like pre-spawn cranking bite. So I just left and was like, oh, I'm just going to go to the bank and swim a jig. Then you swim a jig by like a little pot of hyacinths, and a 4-pounder runs out there and blasts it like on the surface. And it's like, water's 52. It's February. You're supposed to be out on a point somewhere eating a crankbait, but you weren't. You were up here in 1.5 feet of water under a hyacinth mat, blasting swim jigs out of the water. So after that point, and a few more scenarios like that, I've kind of figured out that unless you live on a lake that's like, I feel like my whole life I was educating myself to fish like reservoirs, and then I didn't have a reservoir here. There's not really any reservoirs anywhere in the state hardly. I mean, there are, but not anywhere that I would fish or need to fish. So I started realizing that river fish are different, and yeah, it's all like it none of the I don't want to say none of that shit matters, but really, I like practice. I never really gave a rat's ass about practice, because as soon as I thought, like, there was more times in my experience that I went out there and practiced and found like a group of fish biting or like some sort of pattern. There was more times that when I tried to replicate that the next day during a tournament, that it didn't work. That was pretty standard. So I usually gave practice like a half-ass shake. Like I would fish and I would like figure a bunch of shit out, but like I never was that guy that was like showing up at the launch the next day and was like, oh dude, I'm gonna hammer their ass. Like, no, you're not. You might, but odds are that it's not in your favor. Um, uh, you can do everything by the book and not get bit, but then there's that clueless dude in 40-degree water throwing a KVD 1.5 and standing tip over 40 feet of water, blasting their ass. Yep. Um, Practice is all about eliminating water. I will say, one of the best days I've ever had on the water. I will say we won by the largest margin Uh, like we blasted their ass, and it was in March, and the river was high. And I went out and practiced the day before. River was everywhere, and or it had been up that week, and it was slowly creeping down, and it had just gotten like it was like a little bit out in the woods, but it wasn't out in the woods enough to like have fish like swimming around out there. So it had just got like decent. But I went and practiced the day before, and I literally caught 1 8 incher, 1 8 incher flipping a tree in this pocket. And we got in the boat the next morning, and Jody asked me, he's like, "Where you want to go?" Well, caught fucking one yesterday. He's like, "How big was it?" It's like, "It's about 8 inches long." He was like, "That's not very big." I said, "No, it's not." I said, "It was pretty damn tough. It's cold. Water was cold. Water was muddy. Like all the shitty conditions. High, muddy spring water. You couldn't get away from it." And so I said, he said, "Where are we going?" I said, "Well, I guess we're going back where I got that bite." And he's like, "We're going to the 8 incher." I was like, "There was one there. So maybe there's something else in there. We'll just kind of fish around and see if there's something else living in there." Well, we roll in there, and after about an hour and a half, we got about 21 pounds in the damn live wells. Where'd these fish come from? Uh, and I think they slid up that morning. I don't know, but it was pretty awesome. All off of 1 8 incher. So luck, maybe stuff to catch them. But there was definitely they were patternable at that point. Like we figured them out that morning. We just happened to be in the right spot. But I had no clue that there was 20 pounds there. I just knew that it had the ingredients to have fish in it. Uh, Jeremy, I think they have this. I think what they call a white perch, because Eric talks about them. It's like a little. It looks like a little white bass or a sand bass or something like that. Brennan, I'm into instincts. I'm into instincts and gut feelings. That's pretty much how I fish uh, these days. Uh, or that's pretty much what I learned would get me farther than like what I had memorized in Bassmaster magazine. You know what I mean? But I also have buddies who are the complete opposite that are like so like just like the dumbest shit you've ever heard, dude. Like, oh, I wasn't getting any bites, and then the wind started blowing, and I thought, well, hell, maybe they're on windy points. Go over there and catch 20 pounds off of windy points, dude. Is is it really that easy? Started waiting at 9 or 10 years old. Knew more about moving water than anything than good at like. Basically said this sucks. Yeah, I bet, Jeremy. Going from current fish to wind driven current fish is not, yeah, not the same fish. Yeah, white perch looks like a white bass without stripes. What we typically call a white perch uh, in the South is a white crappie. That's my whole life growing up. A white perch was a crappie. Uh, Even the black ones, black crappie, white perch. They're, like when people say they're going white perch fishing, they're just going crappie fishing. Or Sac-a-lait if you're in Clotilde land. Yeah, JP, you know about those. Eric's always talking about them. The white perch run. Jeremy, y'all got those little white perch too? Ever seen a ballyhoo? No, not this far up. Y'all got ballyhoo that swim around in your brackish stuff? That's interesting. All right. I'm over my allotted time limit by 1 minute and 7 seconds. We call crappie. What about but do you have those? You said you have white perch. Do y'all have the same kind of white perch? That JP and them have up at in South Jersey has? I don't know where they stop on the I don't know where they stop on their way down. I don't know what a damn ballyhoo's doing up there. South Jersey, do y'all eat them? Y'all eat these perch? JP, you eat these perch? All right, enough about these damn white bass. Screw a white bass. Screw a white perch. We fish for largies around these parts. We fish for little peckerhead, stunted growth, 12-inch tidal fish around here. But they pull hard and they get real fat and they eat a lot. So that makes them fun. Later, dudes. Y'all be good. Thanks for sticking around. We'll catch y'all maybe tomorrow. Maybe if I make it out on the water, I'll say hello. Delaware is weird by water. You'd be surprised how many different species are in there. It is weird. All right, y'all be good. See you. How do I end this? End stream.